amount lost. They've found that those who previously gave up information that allowed a criminal to scam them online or over the phone are the best targets for another fraud attempt. The retargeting scheme begins with the cyber criminal claiming that the FBI has recovered the victim's lost money, or they say that the victim can help them recover it. All you have to do is pay a so-called fee, and don't fall for it. If your money has been recovered, no one's going to ask for a payment to get it back. AI is changing the world, and there's no question it's making technology smarter, but it's also making it easier than ever for companies to learn more about you through your online activity, websites you visit, searches you run, and use ExpressVPN. It encrypts my internet connection to help keep my personal information more secure online. Whether I'm checking email or shopping online, I know ExpressVPN is quietly working in the background. I also like how super easy it is to use. Really, one tap on my phone, laptop, desktop, or tablet, and I'm connected. Plus, one subscription now covers up to 14 devices at once. That's enough to protect your entire household. Best of all, it comes with a risk-free 30-day money-back guarantee. So take your online privacy seriously with ExpressVPN. Right now, get 4 extra months by going to expressvpn.com/Kim. That's expressvpn.com/Kim. expressvpn.com/Kim.
Talkback, Central Louisiana's longest-running talk show, is now everywhere you are. Talkback is now streaming live on X at Sedla Update, plus Facebook and YouTube at KSYL. It's Talkback, Central Louisiana's longest-running talk show. Whether it's the guests or the callers, Talkback is where Central Louisiana begins its conversation.
Well, good morning, Central Louisiana. Welcome to Talkback for Tuesday, the 28th day of July. Nathan Martin sitting here behind the control board with a very special guest co-host this morning, Dr. Paul Coreil. Good morning, Doc. How are you?
Good morning. How's everybody out there?
It was great coming in, smooth traffic, making my way across the river from the North Hill country into Alexandria, and glad to have you here on the show this morning.
Yeah, I saw it was a chilly 82. It was a low this morning.
Right. Oh, put on a jacket.
Oh, yeah, I needed a jacket.
My goodness.
No,
well,
I'm so glad to be back.
Your second time co-hosting, and then it looks like we're going to try to make this a regular thing from what I'm hearing.
Well, I've enjoyed it, and, it's a really good program. A lot of people, are listening.
Right.
And if we can help inform our community, the better the community will be.
That's right.
Y'all do such a great job.
Well, it's a joy and an honor to get to be a part of the rotation for sure. Were you surprised at how many people told you they listened to you or heard you?
No, because when I was Chancellor, I would get a lot of texts and say, man, you were listening. You have a great following here, and but it's a good program, and it's very educational, very important that we do this. I love radio. It's so important to helping the community know what's going on.
There's nothing like the immediacy of radio.
Yeah, people are driving to work. I mean, they're listening, and, they want to know what's going on. In fact, I was at a prayer group this morning, and 2 or 3 people said, I heard you last week. And I said, well, I'm going to be on this morning.
Listen again. That's right. I had a guy text you. Let's see, today's Tuesday, last Friday, I was on the show, and he sent a comment in, and he said, I only get 5 to 7 minutes with y'all every morning, but I'll never miss. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
So we want to make every minute count if we can. But
exactly. Make it important.
Well, Dr. Paul Coreil, our guest co-host today, he's delighted to be here because he's going to have 2, not 1, but 2, I'm not going to call them compatriots, but friends on the show this morning. Wilbert Carmouche from Travel Avoyelles will be in at 7:45-ish, and he'll be talking about all the stuff that's going on in Avoyelles Parish. And then Dr. Coreil will have the rare, distinct honor of interviewing his successor, Dr. Elizabeth Beard, the current Chancellor of LSUA.
Yeah, she's doing such a great job. We interact a couple of times a week, and so proud of her work and what she's doing there. And I think she's got some pretty good news to tell y'all this morning, some exciting news. So we're looking forward to hearing from her.
Well, we got the Cliff Notes version. I'm not sure if we're going to have enough time to talk about all the good
She'll
news.
have to come back.
We can arrange that. Yeah, absolutely.
Exactly.
Saw her yesterday at the North Rapids Business and Industry Alliance.
Yeah. I used to go to that. I didn't go yesterday, but I did see some things online that happened, and I know the district attorney was there.
Right. It was really funny. That Mike Johnson does such a great job running that group and eliciting comments and bringing in different people. And so he added a couple of things, and this is perhaps a little personal, but he invited all the former city council members to come, and he presented each one of us with a proclamation from the
That's amazing.
Louisiana House of Representatives. Such a nice gesture to
talk about
recognize our service in the past, and in essence saying there are great things happening in Pineville, but we recognize those who contributed to it in the past. And I'm very humbled by that. So that took a little time. There were a few other little things that took time. And then he did what he often does. He starts going around the room and giving people opportunity.
Right.
Well, that took about 30, 45 minutes. And before we got through, DA had about 6 minutes to give his talk. And he said, no problem, I can do it. He shared 10, 15 minutes, maybe. I don't even think it was that long. But such a personable meeting. And overflowing so much they had to bring out extra tables and chairs.
My God.
Because I think there had been a hunger for it.
It's been a while.
And he commented that was the first time he's been back, probably 3 or 4 months, because he's been in session so much.
Right.
And I don't think they met in July. Typical to not do that. So I brought my check and joined as a member. I've always gone as a councilman, and
right.
But now I'm joining as a private member because it's such a great organization and does such good information. And you talk about information. So,
well, I saw that LCU was also celebrating 120 years.
120, yeah, and that I hadn't seen them make a huge deal about that, but Mike did yesterday. And what was really neat, as he went around the room inviting people to speak, how many of them said that they'd graduated from LC or LCU. Yeah. And there were a lot of the speakers or the movers and shakers who had that connection. So,
well, Mark's got a panel tonight. He's asked me to be on it, on artificial intelligence in education. So I'll be there tonight at 5:30. And I think Liz will be on the panel as well. And Jimmy Sawtelle. Mark put this together, Mark Johnson, and he's been pushing it pretty hard on Facebook.
Well, he mentioned it as well, and he was honored, and he got a really nice 2-page proclamation for the House of Representatives that Mike presented. But that event, is that going to be at Gwen, right? It's going to be Gwen Conversations at Gwen or something like that.
Yeah, he's going to have a series of different topics. But we're starting off with AI, which is very intriguing to discuss, particularly with education and higher education.
Well, when you were chancellor at LSUA, y'all did some AI summits. I'm not sure.
Yeah, we had a couple of summits, and we're trying to make sure the community is aware of the value of AI and also the threats of AI and things that we need to be careful about. But it can be very positive, and I think tonight we'll concentrate on the positive.
Dr. Paul Coreil, our guest co-host this morning here on Talkback, 7:21 a.m. Your phone call is welcome at 318-442-8255, the BOM Talkline. And you were talking about the AI. There was a speaker. I'm not sure if he was brought in by LSUA, but he actually spoke at the main library branch 6-8 months ago that I went and heard. And there were several folks from LSUA and from CLTCC and LCU that were there. It's such an intriguing area, especially when it comes to education. The number one question people have is they think kids are cheating with it. But it's such a reality. It's like, I think we have to learn it in the same way the kid needs to know how to use a calculator. Exactly. You don't just say using a calculator is cheating. You teach him how to use it properly.
Well, I remember a chemistry class in undergraduate and college where we debated whether we should be allowed to use calculators in class. And I've been around a while.
You have? Yeah. I'm not going to ask how old you are, but
no, I won't say that. But it's good though, because I've learned a lot. But the same thing's happening with AI. This new technology is going to really be positive, but we got to make sure that we're careful how we implement it and use it. The cheating thing is a big concern, and I know Liz and LCU and when Jimmy was chancellor, now Heather Poole, we're all working together to try to make sure it's done right. And that panel tonight, I think, will be very, very positive.
Do you know how long that will last?
He didn't really put an end time, but I'm thinking, we're going to go to bed before 9 o'clock. I would think a couple hours.
Okay. Well, there's a conflict because Gabe Ferment has a big event tonight at Keys Park. And so you're going to have some folks wanting to do both.
Well, they're going to record it, so you'll be able to go back and watch it.
And that's really good. Well, that's the kind of good information that I think is going to help the community get engaged with a local institution like LCU. And I'm sure when you were a chancellor, you loved having the public come on your campus.
Yeah, because those campuses belong to the people. I mean, they belong to the community, and all of the chancellors and presidents really welcome the community because, it's there for the use of our people.
Very good. Well, we talk about the people. We've got a phone call. Let's go to it. Good morning. You're on Talkback with Dr. Paul Coreil and Nathan Martin.
Hey, good morning. Thank you for taking my call. Dr. Coreil, I'm hoping you can explain something to me. I represent the uneducated masses. There was a report yesterday, and then they hit it again this morning, about AI, an AI program or entity leaving notes for its future self, future iterations of AI on how to escape human controls. That's how it was explained, that it left notes for itself. I doubt it wrote notes. It somewhere, but it hid it. It was in its architecture, and they were able to find it, but evidently it was hidden pretty well. It's always been explained to me that AI is just a faster version of programs that do things like we used to call Ask Jeeves and just search engines. How can it have an independent, I hate to say thought, but that seems like a thought, doesn't it?
Well, you read a lot about the threats of AI and some of the concerns about, artificial intelligence kind of taking over the whole thought process. We need to be careful. A lot of that stuff you got to look at the source and make sure it's something that's accurate. But that's why I think we need to control and have some regulations related to it. Just like anything else, things can get out of control and not do things that are good for our people and for our country and for education and everything else. That's why I think the AI panel tonight is so important. We need to be talking to one another, but make sure the regulations are in place to protect.
How would you regulate that? Would it be that government would have to inspect the lines of code so that certain safeguards, we saw the other day how one that was supposed to be in a sandbox within a self-contained, shouldn't be able to get out, got out, hacked into certain other computers, business and government computers, to find the answer to a task it was given because it was given this task. And so what would that look like?
Well, regulation is always a concern. People don't want to overregulate, but just like, protecting children on the internet, things can be done, and there can be penalties put in place if someone goes out of bounds. So we got to work with our elected officials, make sure they're aware of the threats and the concerns that we have. And, a lot of this is unfolding as we talk. So we really don't have a full knowledge of where those issues are going to be the most critical. And I'm learning as much as you are on a daily basis about what AI may be able to do and some of the things that we don't want it to do. But I'm just as cautious as you are. We need to be very, very careful. And I still think there's ways of having boundaries and penalties in place related to...
I don't understand how it can have an independent thought. I was a computer science major at LSUA way back in 83 and 84. And, to me, it was always a slave, and it was always garbage in, garbage out. It can't spit out anything that you don't put into it. Now it seems to be spitting out things that no one put into it. And I don't understand how a program can do that.
I agree with you.
And I would love to hear.
I'd love to learn more about that as well, but we need to be very careful about anything that goes outside of some control and human interaction that has control over what's done. The panel tonight, I think, is going to be a beginning in this community of, particularly in education and with all the students we have that are using ChatGPT and other forms of AI on the internet. And again, it's kind of to be determined what we need to be doing to make sure that it's the results we get are something good for our people and for our country and for our state.
Okay, thank you for taking my call.
All right, Dave, thanks for your call this morning. 318-442-8255, the BOM Talkline. Feel free to give us a call and enter the conversation. I mentioned the gentleman that spoke at the main branch of the library, and I thought he was brought in by LSUA, but I don't remember exactly, to be honest. He had written a book about AI, was a very brilliant fella. His contention was that AI, as we know it today, is a large language model that only repeats things it knows, but however, it can know a ton and can accumulate a lot of information, holding it all in its brain, so to speak, at the same time, whereas we pretty much are we think we multitask, but I don't know that we multitask as much as we think we do. But I listened to another guy talk about that hack of the OpenAI advanced model that was being tested and how it broke out of the sandbox to get into the Hugging Face AI. And they said that was a human error that opened the door. It wasn't that the machine was created something. It took a vulnerability that a human had left. And that's often going to be the weak link, is going to be the human element.
Yeah, I really think that we're going to have to really make sure that we watch the use of AI in so many different ways in our daily lives, and how it may have infiltrated, some of the things we want to protect. It is a human error, I think, in many cases, that creates some of the really hard to believe ideas of, AI thinking on its own, so to speak. We use AI now. I've been using it for years when I do a Google search. Mm-hmm. So a lot of people wonder, what is AI? It's really just accumulating all the information that's on the internet. And we use it on a regular basis, and we use it, and it benefits us. But I think I remember the speaker you're talking about. He was from the LSU main campus.
Okay.
And he was one of our speakers at the summit.
Brilliant guy, made us think about it in a different way. We've got to take a break. We'll come back. We'll continue our conversation with Dr. Paul Coreil. I will highlight that Elon Musk has said AI may be the existential threat to civilization, and that's a pretty smart fellow himself. So certainly caution to be considered, but you can't put your head in the ground either. We'll continue the conversation with your calls after this.
KSYL.
This is a Bloomberg Money Minute. Cracker Barrel is making a change at the top. CEO Julie Masino is out after leading the chain through the rocky rebranding that drew backlash from customers. Cracker Barrel ultimately reversed course. Former Bloomin' Brands CEO David Dino has been tapped to run the chain. Bloomin's restaurants include Outback and Carrabba's. Checking on the markets, a sell-off in chip makers is weighing on stocks this morning. Investors are increasingly questioning if the unprecedented wave of AI investment can be sustained. S&P futures are holding steady. And Boeing is showing signs of a turnaround. The plane maker generated better than expected cash flow in the most recent quarter as demand for new planes remains strong. But the progress was overshadowed by another $280 million charge tied to the troubled Air Force One program, which is years behind schedule and billions over budget. Boeing says it's still focused on boosting production and rebuilding trust after years of safety and quality issues. Courtney Donahoe, Bloomberg Radio.
Good morning. A sunny, very hot Tuesday for us with a heat advisory in effect. Afternoon highs under sunny skies up near 99 degrees. The heat index about 107 for the afternoon, and only a slight breeze out of the southwest, staying about 5 miles an hour. Tonight, clear skies down to 78, and then more sunshine in the forecast tomorrow. Another heat advisory expected. Afternoon highs near 100. From the Sedlaw Broadcasting Weather Center, I'm Dave Gratian.
If you'd like to take part in the show today, call the BOM Bank Talk line at 442-8255. That's 442-TALK. And remember, if you're looking to purchase or refinance your home, call Christina Bagwell at the BOM Bank Mortgage Department at 448-2430.
It's Talkback, 970 AM, 104.9 FM, KSYL.
Welcome back to Talkback. Dr. Paul Coreil in the studio, guest hosting today, not just in and out, but with us for the whole time. You've become quite the Renaissance man. Radio, you're writing articles, you're giving speeches. Tell us about your writings over there for the Avoyelles
today.
Avoyelles Today.
Well, I've really enjoyed it. I'm writing articles every week. It's a series called Coreil's Career Corner. And I think a few people have read them. I'm just telling stories and giving some feedback on my career. I've had a 50-year career in higher ed. 14 of those years were in Cameron and Calcasieu parishes, and then I was in Baton Rouge and Alexandria as chancellor. But I've had an amazing life, and I want to record some of those unique things that have happened to me. I think we talked about, when I was controlling pigeons in Tiger Stadium. That's a very, very humorous article, but it's true. It's like you can't make these things up. I wrote an article yesterday about alligator meat and how I was involved in promoting alligator meat when they were throwing it all away.
Oh, my goodness.
And now it's the most valuable product of the alligator industry.
It's expensive if you go to a restaurant and order something with alligator on it.
And at one time it was being thrown away. This was back in the 1980s. Worked on that and really did some promotion and did some research on meat yields of different size alligators. And then I wrote an article about Holly Beach. How many people have been to Holly Beach? A lot of people in Louisiana went to Holly Beach. Yeah. It was the Cajun Riviera. And that article is very humorous as well, because I talk a little bit about the hogs that used to walk on the beach. They had wild hogs. Where else can you go to a beach in the United States and see hogs walking around? But Holly Beach was a place you could do it. But I've enjoyed writing these articles.
My first experience of crabbing was down there near Holly Beach. My dad took our family down for vacation, and we thought we were living the life, man.
Yeah, it was the only beach we knew. And then we went to Pensacola, and I said, wow, the sand can be white. But Holly Beach was a wonderful place. We used to really enjoy cooking, making seafood gumbo and catching crabs, like you said. Just an amazing place to go. And I went there every summer growing up till I went to college. And I wrote an article about that and then some of the work I did when I was in Cameron and Holly Beach. And you need to read that article because there's a dog involved in that article, and it's very humorous if you read it. It's true.
I'm actually reading it right now, Mr. and Mrs. Kulo, as you give them a name, like a fake name.
Yeah, I didn't want to name the couple, but they were very, very intriguing people. And what happened to that dog was very sad.
Yeah.
But it happened. And, she thought maybe we could thaw it out, but it just didn't work. The dog got left into freezer accidentally and didn't survive. But it was an interesting experience. And I've written a little bit about the contributions of people that work at LSUA from Avoyelles Parish. Significant number, around 50 people work there and contribute significantly to
Isn't
our.
that something?
Yeah.
Now I know that you are on Facebook. You're active on Facebook. Have you seen the newest viral video from Barry McCain in Ward 10, the neighborhood police officer?
No.
So Barry, if you ever meet Barry, you'll never forget him. He is the most genuine, down-to-earth country boy. He's a Sheriff Wood instituted these things called neighborhood officers. I think that's what they're called. Barry, if you're listening, call me in and correct me. But I think they're called neighborhood officers or neighborhood liaisons. And these are deputies who live in different parts of the parish. And basically their assignment is to get to know everybody in your area, hold events to bring people together, create neighborhood watches, get out in the community. And Barry is the absolute epitome of a local police officer. He knows everybody in that area. Well, he had gone out fishing with his grandkids, and I think his 9-year-old granddaughter had a phone, and she was videoing him catching a gar. It ended up being about a 35-pound gar, pretty nice sized gar. And he goes out with these bamboo poles with little floaters on them, puts the bait out there. But then when the gar eats it, then it still takes 20 to 30 minutes to land it. It's a big ordeal. That video, and I think the subsequent video of him skinning it and cooking it, he got over 1 million views. It went crazy wild, and he's picked up thousands of followers. And I think we have a new internet star right here among us, just doing something he loved to do, gar fishing.
Catching and processing a gar.
Yeah. And I thought about that when you mentioned how alligator used to be trash meat.
Yes.
Well, I've always thought of gar meat as, other than gar balls, I mean, that was always a trash fish. You didn't want to catch a gar. First of all, you were going to tear something up.
Mess up your line. Yeah.
Right. But, he goes out specifically targeting them, and he talked about how to get the bigger ones, how to, the weighting, and people were just fascinated by.
Did he use the hatchets?
He did.
Yeah. That's the technique. I've seen it done. They use a sharp hatchet.
I'm really surprised Facebook didn't take it down for violence, because it's a violent skinning of the top of that. And then he pulls out these huge, what would you call, almost like, back straps. These huge, he was calling them back straps, like the backstrap on a
lean backstrap meat.
And big old chunks of meat. And then he talked about how to get the fibers out. And then he grinds them up and makes patties out of them. And he fried them up. And he had my mouth watering just watching him make that, video.
Going back to the alligators, when they were throwing it all away, one of the things we did is we went to the chefs all over the state and came up with recipes with alligator meat. And we used the same technique for gar balls.
Okay.
We did alligator balls.
Okay.
And onions and bell pepper and, parsley and things, and seasoned and made alligator balls and fried them like you do the gar balls. And they're excellent. I mean, they're really good. You got to grind the meat up, and get them where you can make a meatball out of it. But I've eaten gar balls. They're very good.
Well, if you add enough seasoning to anything, it'll taste pretty good, right?
Well, somebody said you can make a gumbo out of a leather boot if you cook it long enough.
Well, you mentioned the onion and the bell pepper. Is that what you said?
Yeah.
That's part of the trinity of
garlic, onion, and bell pepper.
There you go.
I use it all the time.
It's going to make everything taste good. But it's a staple when you walk into Super One, and they've already got it chopped up in a box for you. You don't have
to cut it anymore. It's ready to go.
That's right. That's right. All right, Dr. Paul Coreil, my guest co-host. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to be traveling to Avoyelles with Wilbert Carmouche and Travel Avoyelles. Back with him after this.
Talkback, Central Louisiana's longest-running talk show, is now everywhere you are. Talkback is now streaming live on X at Sedla Update, plus Facebook and YouTube at KSYL.
The Louisiana heat is here. Is your home ready? Whether it's keeping your air conditioner running strong, fixing unexpected plumbing problems, or installing a whole home generator before the next storm rolls in, Southern Air has you covered. With trusted technicians, upfront pricing, and service that you can count on, we're here to keep your family comfortable all summer long. Don't sweat it. Call Southern Air Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing today, or schedule online at southernairalexandria.com.
Feeling hot, hot, hot. Woo, it's hot. Louisiana summertime's here, and it's almost as hot as the deals at A1 Pool. Want an in-ground or above-ground pool? A1 Pool sells them, installs them, and has a hot summertime deal for you. Need a new liner for your in-ground pool? A1 Pools is the place to call. Write this number down, 318-449-2093. For above-ground pools or in-ground pools or replacement liners for your in-ground pools, always call A1 Pools, 318-449-2093. See them on Facebook.
Now back to Talkback, 970 AM, 104.9 FM, KSYL.
Welcome back to Talkback, 7:43 on this lovely 28th day of July. It's a Thursday, and when it's the last Thursday of the month, we're going to be visited by the parish. Wilbert Carmouche with Travel Avoyelles is in the studio this morning. Good morning, sir. How are you?
Oh, it's all good now that I'm here with you, fellas.
It's better. I got two Cajuns across the way from me right here.
How about that? You're outnumbered this morning.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
We got the majority here.
Well, you got Evangeline Parish, got Avoyelles Parish. I asked Dr. Coreil before you got here, was there like a nice sibling rivalry between the two parishes? And he said, no, we get along well.
Absolutely
we got the same senator. We represented.
We put a pot between us, and it's all, we put a black pot between us, and it's all
Everything's
good.
good after that.
Oh, absolutely. In fact, I was able to judge a black pot cook-off in Mooresville this past Saturday.
Yeah?
Oh, my gosh.
No wonder you look fatter.
I do. I do. I think I gained 3 pounds in that.
What did they cook?
Doc, we had, of course, jambalaya. I think there were 2. I think we judged 11 entries. Now, that's a lot to judge of. I had never judged a contest that had different foods. It was always the same. It was always the same. It was always the jambalaya, gumbo, crawfish, barbecue. But this one was like I'm going to say almost anything over rice, which that's one of my favorite foods. So it was a little bit different. So coming back to your question, that was jambalaya. That was a pork backbone stew.
Oof.
Oh, yes. That was crawfish, corn chowder. There was griots, but not the New Orleans griots.
Not the meat griots.
Yes, not the meat griots.
Okay, hold on. You got to tell this non-Cajun what a griot is. That sounds like a gizzard.
No, griots are the innards of either pork or beef. And I don't know what I ate, but it was good.
Okay, well, maybe that's why I need to correct myself. Today is Tuesday, not Thursday. Okay. Earlier, I said it's the last Thursday. No, it's Tuesday. My wife graciously reminded me with a text that I don't want nobody leaving going, man, this week has flown by. It's already Thursday. No, today is Tuesday.
Maybe that's your first sign. So the food, that was one that was called tongue and tail.
I love tongue.
That was beef tongue and oxtail that was smothered down.
Make a gravy with it, yeah.
Absolutely. So we, because you could only take one bite, we said, okay, can we have our leftovers to take home?
You're talking about rice. Mama used to say the rice is cooked. What do y'all want for supper?
Hey, thank you. Thank you. I like your mama already. Yes. We have a thing. We have, in my mother's family especially, we have a little, both of our families, but we have a little group me, and we always say, I love you more than white rice.
It means a lot.
Absolutely. That's the top of the line with us. So, of course, we talk about food. We've been talking about food, and it brings us to food events that are happening in Avoyelles Parish in the month of August. We started off with August 1st. At Our Lady of Lourdes Catholic Church in 5th Ward, we're having, Mr. Nathan, we've talked about Allons Souper that we do, which is a food tasting, and we normally do that in May. But this time it's Allons Souper Junior. We have kids chefs that are putting on basically the same event. It's a food tasting event, and that is this Saturday. From 5 to 7 for $10, you get to come in and taste all the food that you want, and there's going to be a raffle, and all the proceeds are for the youth programming for the CCD children.
You gave me verbal whiplash just a moment ago.
How about that?
When you said Allons Souper Junior, I'm like, I had the Cajun Allons Souper, and then I got that Southern redneck Junior in there. Yeah.
But meaning
how do you say Junior in French? Filet? Fil? Son.
Petit ou jeune?
What was that? That's what I heard.
La jeunesse?
Yeah.
Welcome to the French Cajun Show on KSYL.
That's right. Now, we told you outnumbered when you first started off this morning.
That's right.
Also, on August 1st, we're going to have Cruising Back in Time car show, and that's based around Griffin Service Station on 71 in Bunkie at the crossroads of 29 and 71. That starts at 8 o'clock in the morning. So it's a wonderful opportunity before it gets too warm to come down. Caught you, buddy.
Go ahead, and I'll tell them.
Now you'll tell your faux pas, not mine. So that's Cruising Back in Time, Saturday morning, 8 o'clock in Bunkie. You can Facebook them at Cruising Back in Time. Back to School block party at the Hayes Auditorium. That's going to be 2 locations on Keller Street and then at the Lexington block. August 22nd, that's at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. I have a phone number here that I'm leaving with Nathan. That's 225-485-5218. Another food opportunity. Paragon Casino Resort is hoping their Sip and Wine Spirit Fest. That's August 8th at 6 p.m. in the afternoon at ParagonCasinoResort.com for your tickets. And that's basically a food and beverage sampling event over at Paragon, helping out 3 nonprofit organizations because they were always so generous with their with what it is that they do. There'll be a band on stage, so it'll be a wonderful opportunity to get out there and just everybody wins on this one. You go home with a full tummy, and 3 nonprofits have benefited from the ticket sales. Martial arts fights. at Paragon Casino Resort. That's August 15th. Starts at 7. Get your tickets, Paragon Casino Resort. Alligator Feeding Show on August 29th at 4 p.m. And this past weekend, I had the opportunity to be there when the albino alligators were brought in to the bayou at the hotel's atrium. Wonderful, beautiful animals. They were, from what I'm understanding, they said that there's basically just over 200 of the albino alligators with pink eyes in the world. And Paragon is lucky to have and be home to two of them.
Wow.
Exactly. And then there are only 78 albino alligators with blue eyes in the world. But we're fortunate enough to have 2 with pink eyes.
Wow.
And I got to hold one. That was pretty neat.
What size are they?
They were, I would say, 3 foot. Because once they were telling me in the presentation that once they get to be 6 foot, they have to be moved out, because that's when they when they start being able to mate.
Talking back to mom.
Then they get strong enough to cross over or jump over the
barriers.
Get over the barrier,
yeah.
Exactly. So they're moved out, and they're not mixed with the other alligators that are there. I mean, there's a divider under one of those board paths that they cannot interact. So it was pretty neat.
Wow.
So that's August 29th, and that night, Aretha and Lionel, a tribute show at Paragon starting at 8 o'clock. The doors open at 7. And then just pushing it into Labor Day weekend, Craig Morgan will be in concert. But I'll talk more about that when I come at the end of August on a Tuesday, not a Thursday.
No, that's right.
And talk about that. Now tell us about that faux pas that you made.
So Dr. Coreil, he hands me a sheet of paper with his notes, which he hands me every time he comes in. And I'm reading these notes, and I'm like, why can't I read this? And it's got the dates, but they're, okay, I can tell that's French. But is everything? He gave me the entire sheet in French, Dr. Coreil. The entire sheet.
I'm reading it.
But on the backside,
I'm seeing English.
It. I was looking, but I think you handed it to me on purpose that way.
Of course. I got to keep you on your toes, especially since you thought it was Thursday.
That's right. I definitely need all the help I can get.
I was going for a double play right here, and I think it worked.
You were talking, and I'm listening, and I'm trying to catch up to you, and I'm like, these words are not wording in my head. I mean, like
they're not rolling.
Premier Août 2026. I can tell it's at 800 hours. Okay.
It's a foreign language class, free of charge.
Exactly. Okay. That's like the Chaffline National Heritage Area. That's why we call it America's foreign country. And it starts in Avoyelles with the gateway to the Chaffline National Heritage Area. So now there's one of your reasons why we're called that.
Combat des Arts Martiaux. I have no idea. I'm butchering that so badly.
Yeah, I think so. I think you better flip the page.
I better stay on the English side. I can give you the Spanish version, but I can't do the French.
You cannot do the French. So that's what we've got going on in August, and a lot of other things. And of course, the school bells will ring, so we have to be a little bit more mindful about the.
When does school start?
Next week, I think the 6th maybe. Mm-hmm. Charter school started yesterday, so we have to be a little bit more mindful about those school zones.
Do y'all have a rolling start like Rapides Parish does, or does everybody start the same? I'm asking you questions that may be outside your wheelhouse. I apologize.
I think I heard something about a rolling start for some of the grades at some of the schools. They're starting with their open houses. And
yes, and that gives the teachers a chance to kind of ease back into it. It's odd on your parents if you have young kids. One kid goes one day, another kid goes another day, and then they all get to go the third day. So, but it works out, and it gets everybody kind of eased back into the routine.
And then all of a sudden, Yellow Heaven is picking up everybody.
Be watching for those school buses.
Absolutely.
For sure.
Dr. Coreil, I was noticing on my way in how wonderful the housing is coming up at LSUA.
We're going to have Liz after your program today, and she'll give us an update. But I think they're going to have some opening in August.
Really? That's faster than I thought.
That is wonderful.
There's quite a few that won't be ready, but they're going to have a few that'll be ready.
It's a work in progress.
The good thing about it is, Avoyelles Parish, many of our students are from Avoyelles. Rapides is the top parish in terms of numbers. Avoyelles is second, and a lot of our students commute, as you know. But a lot of them would like to live on campus.
Absolutely.
And kind of get away from mom and dad and kind of be on the college campus on their own.
Well, it makes it great. I mean, because it doesn't come with all of the expenses of, living in a larger city.
Exactly. And it's a safe. We're the, LSUA, I keep saying we. I'm going to continue to say we.
It's going to be we for a long time.
It's going to be we. But it's the safest campus in the state of Louisiana.
I would think so.
And that's a big attraction for the parents, Vols or any parents.
And it's probably a major attraction for people that are coming from other countries as well.
Absolutely. Because, if your child was going to Europe or South America or something, you'd want to make sure the safety was paramount.
So Avoyelles Parish has always worked very closely with LSUA and with your administration, and especially and I forget the name of the program where they dual enrollment.
Yeah. A lot of students. In fact, they bus students from Avoyelles every day.
Absolutely. That's a win-win because these students graduate from high school with sometimes an associate.
Exactly.
And
I wish they'd have had that when I was in high school. They didn't have that option.
No.
We worked and we got jobs and those kind of things.
Mm-hmm.
That was what they wanted us to do. But getting college credit would have been really good because it doesn't count against your TOPS.
That's right.
So you can keep those dollars to finish your degree or go to graduate school.
Yeah, exactly. It would put you closer to the workforce in a shorter amount of time.
One thing I've noticed in Bunkie is really the downtown area is looking so
Oh, yes.
good.
Absolutely.
And I always try to stop and get some iced tea at Griffin's and I see the gas station, a full service station. I mean,
isn't that wonderful when that attendant walks out there? Talk about a
check
retro.
my tires,
Check your tires, wipe your windshield, pump your gas. I stopped there one day and I had taken someone to a doctor's appointment in I think Opelousas, Lafayette. We stopped on the way back to get some fuel. And there comes, I think it's a Mr. Norman that came out, and he was doing all of this. And I asked the passenger that I had driven, I said, "What do I do?" She says, "Take his picture." So that's all I can do and hand him my credit card.
That's awesome. All right, Wilbert Carmouche with TravelAvoyelles.com. Look him up on Facebook. All the good things going on in Avoyelles Parish. Great conversation here with Dr. Coreil, the two Cajun soul brothers down here. We'll be back up to wrap up the show. Thanks for listening to Talkback.
Taking part in the show is easy. Call the BOM Bank Talkline at 442-8255.
Warmer weather is finally here, and that means cookouts,
ball games,
and maybe enjoying some time on the water.
But it also means lots of heavy food, sweets, and maybe an extra adult beverage or two. Thank goodness we both take Active Liver from New Nordic. Did you know your liver works around the clock processing food, sugar, alcohol, and everyday toxins? All the things that can really impact your health.
That's why daily support matters. Active Liver is designed to protect normal liver function and support your body's natural detox process.
With trusted natural ingredients like milk thistle, turmeric, and artichoke extract, it's gentle enough to take all year long.
No harsh cleanses, no extreme detoxes, just simple daily liver support. We really feel the difference.
Active Liver helps us enjoy the good things in life with peace of mind that our liver isn't working overtime. Active Liver is available online at Amazon or NewNordicUSA.com, and you can find it in stores at CVS, Meijer Grocery, Wegmans, and now Active Liver is available at your local GNC.
Security Metal Roofing has proudly served St. for over 35 years. We're your one-stop shop for all your metal building and metal roofing needs. At Security Metal, we're committed to providing top-quality products at the best possible price. We'll even price match any competitor's quote on comparable materials and beat it. Just bring us their quote. Also, we have a lower tax rate being outside the city limits. That's Security Metal Roofing in Alexandria. Call 445-0223 or visit securitymetalroofing.com.
Hello, I'm Sarah Kramer of Kramer Funeral Home. Funerals don't just signify that a life has ended. They celebrate that a life was lived and loved. At Kramer Funeral Home, we understand the importance of celebrating a life well lived. And since no two people are alike, no two funerals should be alike. We will assist you step by step in creating a meaningful service that honors your loved one's unique life. Let us, the staff at Kramer Funeral Home, be your personal guide.
Got a big day ahead of you? Then it's best to fuel up with some of St. best at Bricato's Restaurant. Walk right in and just smell that home-style cooking. Place your order, take a seat, and do breakfast right till 9:30 this morning. Get fresh biscuits, eggs any way you like them, melt-in-your-mouth pancakes, grits, hash browns, sausage, bacon, even wraps and sandwiches. And don't forget their fresh brewed coffee. Mercado's Restaurant, 28 West, right across from the Coliseum. Your breakfast is waiting for you.
Hi, I'm Chuck McDowell, the timeshare cancellation guy and founder of Wesley Financial Group. And I want to set the record straight. I am not an attorney. I've never wanted to be an attorney. And the truth is, I really don't even like attorneys. If I sound like an attorney, I'll apologize. But what I've learned in my 15 years in the timeshare cancellation business is you don't need to be an attorney to get folks out of their timeshare. After 15 years and over 50,000 cancellations, I can tell you with confidence, we know how to get you out of your timeshare. Call us today and we'll send you our timeshare exit guide absolutely free with all your options for cancellation. Attorneys, this was meant to be funny, so please don't sue me, especially my friend Kenneth from Black River Falls, Wisconsin.
Call now for your free timeshare exit info kit. 800-838-6767. 838-6767.
Well, we ran that one a little long, but it timed out just right. So thank you guys for being with us for hour one. Hour two, Dr. Liz Beard from LSUA, along with Dr. Paul Coreil. It's going to be a great time. You guys come back for that and more. And your phone calls, 318-442-8255, the BOM Talkline. We'll see you after the top of the hour news.
You've been listening to Talkback. The opinions expressed were those of the hosts and callers, and not necessarily those of Cenla Broadcasting. AM 970, FM 104.9, KSYL, and KRRV 100.3 HD3, Alexandria. It's 8 o'clock.
Tribute to Lindsey Graham. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News.
He was a great guy. He was a great politician, actually. People don't understand he really was. He was able to bring people together.
President Trump, a short time ago on Fox and Friends, as a flag-draped casket carrying the late senator goes to the U.S. Capitol this morning.
Note that he is not lying in state or honor, but they're doing a special ceremony in the rotunda for Lindsey Graham. They've never done it this way before.
Fox's Chad Pergram at the Capitol.
We expect this ceremony to only go for about 30 minutes. They will then take the casket out, put it back in the hearse, and then go out to the National Cathedral.
That is where there's a funeral President Trump will speak at this afternoon. Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky and Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu will also attend. And this morning, both leaders will meet with President Trump at the White House. First, Zelensky talking about the Russia war, then Netanyahu discussing the Iran conflict. The president also tells Fox he's still hoping for a deal with Iran, but if talks fail, the U.S. attacks will be worse.
I would say in 2 hours, most of the bridges, the major bridges, will all be gone. And the power plants in 1 day. And, you know, if I can avoid doing that, I'd like to do that.
And the president insists he won't let Iran get a nuclear weapon and tells Fox the Strait of Hormuz will be open for shipping.
We control the strait. Now, they can drop a couple of mines in there and screw things up, but we control the strait. Our Navy is incredible. Not one ship has gotten to Iran during any time where we had the blockades.
And oil prices, they're down about 2% again this morning. It is day 3 of the search for suspect number 3 in Sunday night's Seattle shooting that sent panicked people running and hiding at a food festival. 3 shot dead, 4 wounded.
We will leave no stone unturned to bring all of those who may be involved to justice.
That's Seattle Police Chief Sean Barnes. One of the gunmen is among the dead. Another accused shooter, a 15-year-old, is in custody. America's listening to Fox News.
Larry Elder here. When it comes to supplements, 2 things matter most: that it works and that you can trust it. Rather than just tell you about Relief Factor, we'll let our customers do it. We hear from people every single day whose lives have changed, and we'd like you to hear a few of their stories as well. Jim ran out of Relief Factor twice, and both times his aches, stiffness, and pain came back. Once he restarted it, he says he felt better again. As Jim puts it, you know something's working when you run out of it. I take Relief Factor every single morning for my back issues. I know exactly what Jim is talking about. Now, they make it easy for you to find out if you'll be the next person telling us Relief Factor helped you tackle your daily aches and pain. 3 weeks for just $17.76. Simply go to relieffactor.com, relieffactor.com, or call 800-4RELIEF, 800-4RELIEF. You'll connect with our friendly local team, and they will do everything they can to help. We hope you'll soon be sharing your story with us as well. 800-4RELIEF, relieffactor.com.
Well, as they get ready to pay tribute to late Senator Lindsey Graham at the U.S. Capitol and then Washington's National Cathedral, this is the last day for anyone who wants to run for the late senator's seats to file.
The filing window for South Carolina's August 11th special Republican Senate primary ends at noon Eastern time. The late Senator Lindsey Graham had already secured the GOP nomination, but passed away earlier this month from a heart ailment. He was 71 years old. Those running for his seat and a full 6-year term include his sister, Darlene Graham, who is appointed to serve the remainder of her brother's term and has earned President Trump's endorsement, as well as Congressman Russell Fry and Ralph Norman. If no candidate secures at least 50% of the vote, a runoff would take place on August 25th. Whoever advances will take on Democratic nominee Dr. Annie Andrews, a pediatrician, in November. Kristen Goodwin, Fox News.
Michigan's primaries are a week from today, and last night, 2 Democrats running for Senate squared off in a debate on WJBK.
I'm not a socialist. I'm just a capitalist who understands how capitalism works. The biggest threat to capitalism was never the idea of government regulation. It was always monopoly.
Abdul El-Sayed is vying for the nomination against Haley Stevens.
I have released my full tax returns, and Abdul still hasn't. We need to ask him, what's he hiding? What are the Republicans going to uncover in the general election that they will use against him?
Now, the winner will take on Mike Rogers in November. Another plea on Instagram from Today Show host Savannah Guthrie to whoever kidnapped her mother nearly 6 months ago to do the right thing and let them know where she is.
Our family is in agony. We are in a nightmare that will not end. Nothing about our situation has changed.
Police still have no person of interest in Nancy Guthrie's abduction. On Wall Street, we're seeing mixed results. Dow futures up more than 500 points, but they're down for the NASDAQ about 200. I'm Dave Anthony, and this is Fox News.
Louisiana Radio Network, I'm John Burns. The St. Landry Parish community is mourning the death of a Leonville elementary school teacher killed in a car crash on Sunday. Here's Case Kieschnick.
Caitlin LeBlanc was severely injured in the crash near the Sunset Grand Coteau exit and airlifted to a hospital where she later died. Andre Champon is a former high school English student of LeBlanc's and said she cared about her students inside and outside of the classroom.
That's the type of teachers that do change lives, and she was definitely one of those.
Champon says LeBlanc prepared her students not just for the next class, test, or school, but the rest of their lives. She was able to make learning fun.
I really did love looking forward to going to her class every day.
He says the Leonville community will miss her dearly. I'm Case Kieschnick.
State Education Superintendent Dr. Cade Brumley is urging school districts to crack down on unruly student behavior this school year.
I just feel like schools for too long have been too tolerant of inappropriate student behavior. Schools need to be orderly. They need to be peaceful. And we've put in policy procedures to make that happen.
LRN. The search for the remains of 15-year-old Jadarius Manyweather is now in its 3rd week at a landfill near Baton Rouge. East Baton Rouge District Attorney Hiller Moore says the heat and humidity are making it hard for searchers who were sifting through thousands of cubic yards of material, some of it hazardous.
There are a lot of bones that have been collected. You're in South Louisiana, people kill things. There are a lot of medical equipment that you have to watch out for, needles.
The economic impact of Meta's $50 billion AI data center is already being felt across Northeast Louisiana. The Hyperion Data Center is under construction in Richland Parish, where Grow Nela president and CEO Rob Cleveland says first quarter sales tax collections are 6 times higher than they were this time last year. And he says Meta's investment is also attracting new businesses.
Faith Technologies, that's a company that does data center work, and that company is going to invest $80 million and create 200 new jobs in Ouachita Parish.
LRN.
Attention all real estate agents, property owners, and lenders.
When you or a client needs a real estate attorney, call the professionals at Thompson Law Firm. Whether the legal matter is basic or complex, the Thompson Law Firm can accurately guide you or your client to a successful outcome. That's why numerous industry professionals have trusted the Thompson Law Firm for years. They also handle estate planning, successions, and business law. Call them at 473-0052. I am a paid non-client attorney spokesperson.
Good morning. A sunny, very hot Tuesday for us with a heat advisory in effect. Afternoon highs under sunny skies up near 99 degrees. The heat index about 107 for the afternoon, and only a slight breeze out of the southwest, staying about 5 miles an hour. Tonight, clear skies down to 78, and then more sunshine in the forecast tomorrow. Another heat advisory expected. Afternoon highs near 100. From the Cenla Broadcasting Weather Center, I'm Dave Grayson. It's Talkback, Central Louisiana's longest-running talk show. Whether it's the guests or the callers, Talkback is where Central Louisiana begins its conversation.
Well, good morning. Welcome back to Talkback. 8 minutes after the hour of 8 o'clock on Tuesday, the 28th day of July. The month is wrapping up, and we're joined this morning by the new Chancellor of LSUA, Dr. Elizabeth Beard. Good morning, Dr. Beard. How are you?
Good morning. I'm great. Proud to be here.
Well, we have you in studio with a ghost of Christmas past. Dr. Paul Coreil co-hosted with me this morning. What a great serendipitous moment to have the two of you. You guys have already been catching up during the break and chit-chatting about all the things that are going on, and there is a lot going on at LSUA.
There is a lot going on. We're in full swing getting ready for the fall semester. We had our second of 3 orientations on Friday, standing room only. So much excitement, so much fun, so much positive energy. You know, we're asking the students, how are you liking it? How are you loving it? We're getting our new generals welcome to campus. And one of the young ladies said 10 out of 10 couldn't be better. Awesome. And so that is, that's exactly the answer we hope for.
Well, yesterday at NRBIA, I think Representative Mike Johnson announced y'all had 57,000 students or something like that.
Not quite 57,000, but we're getting there. We'll exceed our 8,000 mark this fall.
Amazing.
That momentum is growing. We're up online in our enrollment. We're up on campus. Very strong numbers in our on-campus growth. So we're tremendously excited about that. All of our campus projects are in full swing. If you haven't driven past campus in a bit, you need to get out that way because our apartments are coming up. They're beautiful. You can see really what that community is going to look like on our campus edge. And so those campus apartments will open later this fall, and that'll be another 352 beds. So we're poised to grow.
Wilbert Carmouche from Travel Avoyelles was here earlier, and he complimented what you guys are doing because he had to drive by there today on the way in. And it looks like they're really close. At least some of them are really close to being finished.
They are. You can see what they're going to look like. They're nicely done. It's creating that campus edge community, a little neighborhood at LSUA. So it's going to add a lot to our campus vibrancy. And with that, we're opening up. We'll be putting out an RFP for some retail and restaurants on the campus edge, to add to that community there. So a lot of exciting possibilities and potential.
Well, that's super exciting to see that happening. Classes will start here shortly.
Classes start August 24th. So we're just under a month out from kicking off the fall semester. Yep, and lots of good programs. We'll have our brand new technology programs are in full swing. We're adding our accelerated bachelor's degrees this academic year. So we've got some exciting new curricula in information technology, bioinformatics, cybersecurity, disaster prevention, all those things that are really thriving and students are coming to study. Our aviation students are really excited about continuing their programs. So lots of good work, lots of good excitement.
Y'all brought in an AI expert to do some instruction. He came in one day for one of the shows. I remember I was so impressed with him. But then you're having to kind of become an AI expert yourself. I hear you're on a panel this evening.
Yes, we will. Dr. Coreil and I are both on a panel. LCU is hosting what they're calling the Gwen Conversation Series. And so they'll have several of us. I think Dr. Johnson referred to as thought leaders? I don't mind that title, but we're be talking about the role of artificial intelligence in education. Jeff Powell will join us to bring in the K through 12 perspective, and then there'll be Dr. Johnson with LCU, Dr. Coreil and I representing LSUA and the work we've done there, and Jimmy Sawtell with CLTCC, really thinking about how artificial intelligence is changing the landscape of education. And it's one of those things where you look at the opportunities that it presents. How does artificial intelligence, and you mentioned one of our outstanding faculty members really leading the work in helping us leverage that technology in a way that's empowering and excellent, but also does not shortchange the education that the students need to receive and the skill sets that they're working on. So many good opportunities. We just have to make sure we're ahead of the curve in leveraging the work that can be done, right, in a very positive way.
Well, AI is a reality. And so rather than put our head in the sand and ignore it, understand how to best utilize it with the safeguards that are necessary.
That's right.
I want to circle back to, you said the numbers. Do y'all have projections on enrollments, and when do you say, okay, yes, this is the fall enrollment
date? So the fall enrollment official date is census date. So that's the 14th class day. Okay. And yes, our projections are looking very strong. We've been toying with that 8,000 student mark. We're set to exceed that this fall. And so we are looking at double-digit growth both on campus and online. That's exceptional. It's extraordinary. We're so proud of it. But I'm looking at the wonderful Dr. Paul Coreil. It's the product of doing the right work in the right way, building the programs that matter, leaning into those workforce needs, the healthcare, the technology, STEM, education, the humanities, doing the good work in a way that really resonates with the folks who are hiring our graduates, sending that workforce out there to do good things for our community, and the results follow.
Earlier, we were talking about safety and how LSUA is the safest campus in the state of Louisiana, but also your tuition is very competitive.
That's right. The affordability of the tuition. So that provides the access. And we work hard to make sure that we're getting those opportunities to the students in a way that really sets them up for success. So we have affordable tuition. We have both the online and on-campus modalities. Some of our students are working full-time. They're raising families. They're really looking for that upskill in their careers, that opportunity for advancement. And our online courses are really strong. Those are taught by our full-time faculty. Excellent programs there, but they're accessible to our full-time working students as well.
Arlene Coon's talking about pickleball courts. Are y'all doing something?
We may or may not be breaking ground on pickleball courts. No, we're so excited about that. So the construction on our pickleball courts and 2 new tennis courts will start in about a week and a half. So those will be ready this fall. We'll do a big groundbreaking ceremony for that. And we're upgrading our softball and baseball. We'll have a clubhouse for those teams and locker rooms. So that's a much needed improvement. So we're sort of upgrading our sports complexes. So we'll be looking for a groundbreaking and celebration of that. But pickleball is the thing. Our students are so excited about that. And that's part of providing that vibrant campus and the opportunity for our students and our community come out and do something fun. But nobody...
Well, I know Arlene's listening.
Yes.
All we watch is the pickleball channel on television.
I didn't even know there was a pickleball.
There is. There's a pickleball.
I had no clue.
She found
it's the thing. And so we're going to have some courts opening in town. We'll have these at LSUA. We're so excited about. That's part of providing something fun for our campus to do, and it's safe, and we're in that community. But it is all the thing. We're so excited about that.
Tell us more about the Digital Content Creation Lab and the Broadcast Studio.
Yes. So we upgraded some of our space in our main classroom building, Mulder Hall. It was sort of unused, outdated equipment and space. And so we know that part of the messaging, the way word gets out, is in that digital space now. So we've hired a full-time graphic design faculty member, Luis Centron. He's extraordinary. He's joining us this fall. He helped us think about what that lab space or the studio space needs to look like to really graduate the students who can be leaders in that field. And so we have a Mac lab that has the social media screens with the live feed, and he has these, digital design boards that the students are going to be using. So that space has been upgraded. And the adjacent space, our videographer, Nathan Parrish, is going to be moving into a faculty role there. And we developed a broadcast production studio. So we'll be able to do podcasts, broadcasts. We have the camera equipment. We have the sound equipment. We have the wonderful screen so that we can really do some quality productions and teach students to be those leaders in the production studio field and
radio, television.
And that is something we're tremendously excited about. I think our community has seen the high quality work of our strategic communication team. They are just wonderful in their design, in their video production, in the output, in the way they share our brand story.
Exactly.
And so the students in those programs will work very closely with that team to develop that kind of portfolio as they're doing their work. So it's tremendously excited about that. You'll have to come out and visit, Nathan. It's going to be state of the art, and we are so excited about it.
You're going to make us jealous here at Cinema Broadcasting.
Come visit.
I have a feeling. But all of the products that you put out, especially media products, are just absolutely first class. They look like some multi-million-dollar firm from Madison Avenue has produced your magazines and your publications. I mean, really, there's a great pride, obviously, in putting out a quality product, and it reflects on who you are as an entity.
I agree with that.
They just got to make sure LSU Baton Rouge doesn't take them away from LSU because they're recruiting them all the time.
That's a good point. I hadn't thought about that.
No, we treat that team very well, and that's the thing. They're extraordinarily talented, but they're so invested in the work that LSUA is doing, and they thrive on working closely with our students. So they're building that next generation of that level of talent right here in Central Louisiana. It is so extraordinary.
Well, we've got to take a break, but before we do that, I want to mention something historic just happened in this interview. And I'm going to let Dr. Coreil continue because nobody interviews better than somebody who used to be there because he knows what questions need to be asked. But I noticed something historic happened. Dr. Coreil said, you as opposed to we when it came to LSUA. So I heard that. It noted in my brain. I'm sure
it's not going to happen probably again today, but I did it one time.
One time, because all before that you would say we, and then you go, oh, I'm sorry. Oh,
exactly.
Well, he's famous for saying LSUA is our community school, and he's a huge part of that. So it's always we. It's always we, especially with this guy.
I love it. Absolutely. Yep. Let's take a break. We'll come back and continue the conversation with Dr. Elizabeth Beard, conducted by Dr. Paul Coreil. But more right after this.
Talkback, Central Louisiana's longest-running talk show, is now everywhere you are. Talkback is now streaming live on X at Sedla Update Plus, Facebook, and YouTube at KSYL.
The Louisiana heat is here. Is your home ready? Whether it's keeping your air conditioner running strong, fixing unexpected plumbing problems, or installing a whole home generator before the next storm rolls in, Southern Air has you covered. With trusted technicians, upfront pricing, and service that you can count on, we're here to keep your family comfortable all summer long. Don't sweat it. Call Southern Air Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing today or schedule online at southernairalexandria.com.
Tired of noisy neighbors? Want to keep pets in and problems out? Sounds like you need a Promo fence. At Promo Fencing and Lawn Care, our fences don't just work, they wow. From classic cedar and pine privacy fences to durable chain link, sleek metal, and aluminum, even decorative fencing. We've got something for every home, yard, or business, big or small, residential or commercial, all with free estimates, expert installs, and small town customer care. Promo Fencing and Lawn Care, fences that feel like home.
If you'd like to take part in the show today, call the BOM Bank Talkline at 442-8255. That's 442-TALK. And remember, if you're looking to purchase or refinance your home, call Christina Bagwell at the BOM Bank Mortgage Department at 448-2430.
970 AM, 104.9 FM, KSYL. Now back to Talkback.
Welcome back to Talkback. Dr. Elizabeth Beard from LSUA, the chancellor out there just a couple of miles south of Alexandria, has made her way in this morning to talk with us. Dr. Paul Coreil, my co-host, off air. There's so much stuff to talk about. I don't think we're going to get to all your notes, I'm sorry to say. But I did want to ask you about some of the things that you invite the community into through the life learning, through the leisure activities, those learning classes, because you guys are not just engaged in four-year students, you're inviting the community to some special activities as well.
That's right. Part of our mission is through our LSUA continuing ed program. And we have so many good things happening there. We have some workforce development and credentials, and I'll talk about that in just a moment. But one of the things that has just been the biggest hit, we couldn't have predicted how excited people are over this, are our leisure learning classes, our lifelong learning. So these are fun cooking courses, arts courses, some of the sports and leisure activities. And as soon as we post a course, it fills up. So we're expanding that program. We got a grant, a 3-year grant through the Rapides Foundation to really support that kind of lifelong learning, that quality of life, healthy living courses. But it will be LSUA continuing education on the go. So we'll be going out to Avoyelles Parish, to Vernon Parish, to Grant Parish to offer some of this programming to the community members and some of our further reach in our region. And those have been such a great community builder.
Well, that's a perfect fit for the Rapides Foundation as well, who have been entrusted with healthy living. So to bring it that level of education and to spread it out throughout the community, wonderful, wonderful idea. I have a question. I may be jumping the ship here, but I'm interested in basketball. So you guys have a new guy coming to town.
Yes, he's so good too. Coach Jake Dupree is joining the Generals. He's actually living on campus right now.
All right.
In our apartment. So he's getting settled in and ready to roll. But Coach Jake Dupree will be joining us from Lourdes University in Ohio. He's already recruiting new basketball players out and about in the community and on campus, meeting our stakeholders and getting acquainted with the team. When Paul and I interviewed him, because he was right at the end as Paul was moving toward retirement and I was moving into the role, we interviewed Coach Dupree together. And as soon as he walked out of the room, we both looked at each other and said, that's the guy. Yeah. That's the one. Talk about quality of character and intentionality. And he talked about some of the work he had to do to recruit quality players at his previous university, with the tuition, with that private school sort of set up there. Really strong. And again, doing the work in the right way, building those student athletes up in a way that really invests in them and winning. And that aligns with what we wanted our LSUA basketball program. So
well, there is an expectation.
We want to win. It's not fun if you're not winning,
That's right?
And any coach that works for the nuns has to be a great coach.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's
he
great.
kept talking about the nuns doing this and nuns doing that. I said, man, we want to hire you.
Well, I saw the feature that Stephen did on him, and he just exuded character, as you said. It just beams off of him. So I can't wait to meet him in person and get to see what he does this fall. And athletics is such a big part of student life and the excitement around campus. So that's a great thing.
It is. It is a great thing for us. And that's an answered prayer in so many ways. And bringing in somebody with that depth of experience, but again, that vision for how a team has to work and how you really build a quality program. So we're tremendously excited to be able to carry on the really rich tradition of LSUA basketball already. We have an expectation for success. And I think we've made the right choice to continue that.
There's a lot of banners up there, but there's still room for a few more.
There's still room for a few more. We have a couple missing in that lineup.
That's right.
We're ready to get him. He's bringing in an assistant coach, Brett Love, that he's got a lot of confidence in. And I've met him and visited with him. They're going to work very well together. This is going to be a great fit for LSU.
Just got to get him some of that Evangeline Parish Bill Platt food. That'll cement him
pounds on him at least.
That's true.
Just cook a pot of rice and everything's ready.
Yeah, rice and gravy will do the trick. Yeah.
Very good. I saw a feature about someone came on and talked about it. I don't remember when, because I may have been out of the country, but the military maneuvers museum idea that LSUA is a big part of that preparation.
So the Secretary of Veterans Affairs for Louisiana, Charlton McGinley, is from Alexandria. He's an Alexandria native, very proud of that. But he has a passion for telling the story of the Louisiana maneuvers and the vital importance of Alexandria and Central Louisiana in securing the freedom of the world as we know it. That World War II in the summer of 1941, the training that really allowed our military to be ready to enter World War II happened right here in central Louisiana. And we have a wonderful wealth, a treasure trove really of artifacts that help tell that story at a World War II museum on Camp Beauregard. But the access and the scale of that really doesn't do justice to the richness of that story and the importance of central Louisiana. So Secretary McGinley has a task force basically looking at how we tell that story more effectively. And LSUA will be the higher ed partners in that, the educational partners, in making sure that Alexandria really tells the story of our significance in World War II and the training that happened here through the Louisiana maneuvers.
And he got a resolution passed in the legislature authorizing this study.
Authorizing the study so we can say what's the feasibility of putting this museum at a really comparable scale here in central Louisiana. I think many of us have been to the World War II Museum in New Orleans. It's huge. It's an extraordinary museum. It's a treasure for our nation. This would be sort of an annex or a complement to that, telling the story of what happened in central Louisiana.
And the Bentley Hotel has some information.
The Bentley Hotel and the
exhibit there
would be a
would
partner
all be
in
part
that.
of it.
Yeah, so a collaboration.
I've been to the museum at Camp Beauregard. It's just not easily accessible to folks.
It's on base, so it's not easily accessible. And again, their curator there, Rick Morin, is a lead voice in this project.
Supporting
it because there's so much more we can tell. I mean, he spoke the other day about the fact that, they were setting up field hospitals and training the nurses and the medical responders here. And so really showing how that had to happen to set our American forces up for success in
no doubt about it. It's so important.
Well, speaking of medical, you guys do some EMT classes at LSUA, and I hear they're filled up already. You got to come talk about stuff people can kind of sign up for.
Well, you just have to be quick. When you see it, sign up. But we're expanding again. We have a new EMT course starting September 14th. Beautiful program. The jobs are ready and waiting. So we have EMT. We'll be doing EMT Advanced for that next upskill. So again, we're starting new cohorts all the time. So there's always an opportunity. But when you got to jump on it quick.
You have a paralegal.
We have a wonderful paralegal program that'll be launching again this fall, and that's again a great opportunity, a really well-run program. So through our continuing ed, so all of those things. If you just look for LSUA continuing ed, all of these opportunities to sign up will be there. Yeah.
We didn't mention Brandon Hagan, the softball coach, but another great move and somebody who's stepping up in the ranks and will continue excellence. I've said this a couple of times. I hate to even say it. When I was in high school a long time ago, LSUA really wasn't a consideration. It was, unless you were interested in being a farmer, it just really wasn't an consideration. And today it's a leading contender.
It is.
In fact, I heard a story yesterday about a young lady who LSUA was her primary place she wanted to go to. She applied, didn't hear anything. So she went to Northwestern, applied, got accepted, went and rented an apartment, and 2 days later, got the letter from LSUA that she had been accepted, canceled everything in Natchitoches, and came back to LSUA because that was her number one choice.
I'm so excited.
Isn't that great? That's good that people are seeing it that way.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. And the quality of experience that we offer really does make us proud. We're intentional about that. We want our students to choose us first and to get the degrees that matter and to be able to stay here and keep that young talent right here in our community working for us.
Well, Dr. Beard in the studio, Dr. Coreil, I'm sure you are delighted to have, you couldn't have handed off
smiling.
It's not just because of the retirement, it's because it's in good hands.
Exactly. That's what I'm so proud of Liz, and really enjoy working with her over the last 4 years and continue to support as a former chancellor.
That's it.
Am I going to see you in the stands at basketball games?
My wife and I will be there, but I may not sit with her the whole game.
Well, that's nothing new about that.
At the referees, they say, "Is that the chancellor's wife?" No,
not anymore. It's not.
Free reign to cut up all she wants.
That's great. What a cheerleader. Well, thank you, Dr. Beard, for being with us today. We always enjoy these segments. We'll have to try to figure out how to get Dr. Coreil here for all of them because this was so much fun.
So much fun.
Very good. All right, that wraps it up with Dr. Elizabeth Beard from LSUA. We'll be back with more Talkback after this.
Taking part in the show is easy. Call the BOM Bank Talkline at 442-8255.
This is a Bloomberg Money Minute. Mixed picture for stocks this morning. Coca-Cola among the gainers. That's thanks to a demand boost. Thanks to being a major FIFA World Cup sponsor. Johnson & Johnson shares also higher. J&J agreeing to a $5.5 billion commitment to resolve litigation on claims its talc products caused ovarian cancer. Company has said talc doesn't cause cancer, and there's never been asbestos in baby powder. Looks like Amazon data centers have been hit in Iran strikes. Satellite imagery shows damage to 2 of its data centers in Bahrain, supporting Iran's claims it struck the site with missiles. Looks like LA Dodgers owner Mark Walters' phone was seized last year by the FBI. Sources say federal agents grabbed Walters' mobile phone and computer last September in a wide-ranging probe into the financial dealings of the billionaire's business. And Jack in the Box giving its menu a Philadelphia flavor with a limited edition Philly-style bonus Jack and a Philly cheese steak, also available in double and triple patty versions. Denise Pellegrini, Bloomberg Radio.
Reuters Institute reports social media has become the main source of news for more than half of people in the U.S., surpassing TV channels and news websites. Before the story hits the group chat, it hits Simla Update. Follow Simla Broadcasting on Facebook, your community, your update.
When life gets tough, 988 can provide help and hope. Reach out to Louisiana's free helpline anytime you need emergency emotional support. Whether you had a tough day, have thoughts of suicide, or just need someone to talk to, 988 specialists will listen and help you work through whatever you're dealing with. Call or text 988 or chat online at louisiana988.org. It's free, confidential, and here for you 24/7.
After I came home from Iraq, I could still hear the booms. Makes it hard to be a good mom.
As America's veterans face challenges, DAV is there.
I'm Naomi Mathis, Air Force veteran.
DAV helps veterans get the benefits they've earned.
Thanks to DAV, I was able to begin to heal.
With the right support, more veterans can reach victories, great and small.
My victory is being able to be here for my children.
Support more victories for veterans. Go to DAV.org.
If you haven't switched to Pure Talk because you're not sure their coverage is every bit as reliable as Big Wireless, why not take them for a test drive? For a limited time, Pure Talk is offering any of their plans for just $15 a month for the first 3 months, including their top-tier unlimited data plan. No contracts, no commitments, just a great deal on a high-speed network with unlimited data from an American wireless company. Dial pound 250, say Mike Rowe, and let the savings begin.
Good morning. A sunny, very hot Tuesday for us with a heat advisory in effect. Afternoon highs under sunny skies up near 99 degrees. The heat index about 107 for the afternoon, and only a slight breeze out of the southwest, saying about 5 miles an hour. Tonight, clear skies down to 78, and then more sunshine in the forecast tomorrow. Another heat advisory expected. Afternoon highs near 100. From the Sedlaw Broadcasting Weather Center, I'm Dave Gratian.
970 AM, 104.9 FM, KSYO. Now back to Talkback.
Welcome back to Talkback. We're having a wonderful conversation with Dr. Paul Coreil, former Chancellor at LSUA, currently an author, a radio host, and a pickleball aficionado.
And a cheerleader for the basketball team.
And that's easy to do because there's so many good things going on there. So, well, the last half hour of the show, we're going to talk about all sorts of things, politics, local happenings, events that are going on in the community. Open phone line, 318-442-8255. Would love to have you call us on the BOM Talkline. It's 8:35. Got 25 minutes left in the show. Big topic of conversation locally, and it was in yesterday's North Rapids Business and Industry Alliance meeting, or the upcoming elections. We've got a host of elections coming up here in the fall, and qualifying begins a week from tomorrow. Hard to believe how quickly that will roll around, August 5th, 6th, and 7th. And yesterday at the North Rapids Business and Industry Alliance, you had candidates there for appellate court. You have candidates there for district court. U.S. Congress, Gabe Berman was there, and he has a big event tonight over at Keys Park. Slight competition with the AI deal, but I'm sure
they'll record the AI deal for those that want to watch.
That's nice of you to say it that way, in case somebody wants to. But I'm sure you met Gabe, just a phenomenal person.
I work with Gabe. He's part of our delegation, and we work with the entire delegation. Gabe is a wonderful guy to work with.
He really, really is.
Very dedicated to the community.
Well, and he took that time to pray about that decision. For years and years, people have said that that district is going to be dominated by Monroe, but this is the first opportunity since Clyde Holloway to actually have a Rapides Parish representative, and he's reaching out across the district, not just in Central Louisiana. And that's a big district. It goes all the way up to Arkansas and then goes all the way over to Mississippi, wrapping around the Florida parishes there. So huge geographical district, but excited for.
Yeah, and I'm glad to see the district lines now don't split Rapides Parish.
Absolutely. Or Grant Parish. At one point it was going to split Grant.
Yeah, you kind of wonder where you are, what district are you in. Now you know you're in the 5th district.
That's right. Well, it makes it a lot easier to look at a map and understand where you are. So,
and Gabe made a point the other day that I heard him say that 60% of the population is south of Monroe, further south. And I didn't really know that. A lot of people think it's all in the Monroe area, but a lot of the voters are not in the Monroe area, like Central Louisiana, like Alexandria, Florida parishes, as you said. So that district is big, though.
It's a big one. I think they said it's 106 municipalities in that district. Now, there's 305 municipalities across the state. So literally 1/3 of the municipalities are in one of the districts. So,
and when I was at the Ag Center, that 5th district is an ag district.
Of course.
A lot of farming, very, very important to the economy of many of those parishes. And now it's a big AI district with the, Meta Center being built in Richland Parish. So it's pretty important to our state. Mississippi River, it goes through it. And as far as the Louisiana side is concerned, I don't know how many candidates we have. Is it 4 that are running in that district?
4. I don't know the answer to that.
Right.
Yeah, I think we'll find out the final number next week.
Yeah, they got to qualify. Officially, we'll know next week.
So that's coming up. And then, of course, we go from the U.S. House. You're going to come down more locally. There's a lot of mayors, council members, police chiefs in Rapides Parish are going to be candidates. Of course, city marshal, a school board going to have, and there's going to be a big change in the school board. Either 5 or 6 of them are terming out. So there's going to be an institutional shift, and this institutional knowledge shift. And let me see, justice of the peace, constables, of course. And then here are the towns in Rapides Parish that will be electing a new mayor. Electing a mayor, either re-electing or electing a new mayor. Alexandria, Ball, Boyce, Glenmora, LeCount, Woodworth, Forest Hill, McNairy. And that's a bunch of them. And then all of those will have those who have elected chiefs of police, and then those who have council members. A lot of eyes are on Ball. There's been a lot of attention to that community. And yesterday I saw a post that listed the number of people running. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 announced candidates so far for the 5 seats of the mayor. So a lot of competition in the small town of Boyce, and we'll be finding those numbers and those names for sure next Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Have you ever thought about
we have a second primary for the Senate?
Do we? Wait a minute.
Yeah, we have.
It's in November. Yes, of course. That's
the
right.
Democratic nominee and the Republican.
Well, it's actually it'll be you had the party nomination, and this will be the primary for the actual
for both candidates.
Right. So there are a bunch of candidates, but the Republican nominee Julia Letlow and the Democratic nominee Jamie Davis.
Jamie Davis.
And so those are the 2 potential leads.
So we'll elect a senator in November.
I believe so. I believe because I don't know that anybody else will push those numbers enough for one of those not to get 50%.
Exactly.
So we'll see about that. Have you ever considered running for office in your earlier years?
Running away.
You're a very smart man.
I like to do public service in voluntary fashion, or in a vocation like Chancellor of a university, but never really considered running for elected office. I've been asked to, but that's not going to happen in my lifetime.
So I'd say be careful now that you got some free time. You may have some friends say, hey, why don't you throw your name in the ring?
Well, public service is important to me, whether I'm chancellor or whether I'm past chancellor or whatever. But I will be a volunteer. I'm on the Port Commission. We talked about that last time. And I'm also on the St. Mary board, helping children and adults with disabilities. really enjoy doing that. Very active in my church. So, there's a lot going on that doesn't require me to run for office.
Very good. We have some calls on the line. We're going to go to one right now. Good morning, caller. You're on Talkback with Dr. Coreil and Nathan.
Good morning. Really enjoy the show. Speaking of being part of the community, JCPenney's been part of the community for about 80 years, and today we're having a special event for celebrate teachers and educators from 2 o'clock to 7 o'clock, where we'll have drawings throughout each hour from that time, and they get a additional discount for coming in. So just wanted to give a shout out to all the teachers and educators, how much we appreciate them in Central Louisiana. So really enjoy the show.
Well,
guys.
thank you for calling.
So
what a great gesture to the teachers as they get ready to go back to school. Might want to freshen up their wardrobe a little bit and get some appreciation at JCPenney. 2 to 7, you said, or 2 to 5?
2 to 7.
2 to 7. All right, JC. Thank you, man. I appreciate your call.
All right.
Let's jump on the next line. Good morning. You'll talk back with Dr. Coreil and Nathan.
Nathan, you should really enjoy this 5th district election because it's got your favorite kind of primary.
Open.
Jungle.
That's right.
I really appreciate what LSUA has done. I mean, I haven't been here my whole life, but it's really a Central Louisiana success story. The growth, what they've given to this community, and the opportunities for a reasonably priced education. It's been wonderful. So thank you, Dr. Coreil.
You're welcome.
My question is, now that UNO is a part of LSU system, will that drain any budgetary items away from LSUA? Will the budget go down? Will there be any changes there? Because I understand that UNO is going to take a lot of money to straighten out.
Yeah, our U president for the LSU system, Dr. Wade Roos, made it very clear and has said it on multiple occasions. Not $1 will be taken away from the other regional campuses to support they're calling it now LSU New Orleans. And I really appreciated that because we shouldn't be subsidizing other regional campuses. However, LSU New Orleans can be a very major asset, but they're going to have to fend for themselves through tuition, through donations, and through local support. And I think that commitment from the president made us all kind of relax and feel much better. Now, the first year they talked about doing it, they got $20 million additional money from the legislature to pay off some of their debt. They had major debt there. And I can tell you right now, LSUA has reserves. There's no debt there. You got to run a university like you do a business. I mean, you got to pay your bills and you got to live within your means. They were not doing that. Hopefully with the LSU system with Dr. Roos in charge, they will begin to do that. And we won't be seeing them having to go back and get more funding. But LSUA, we're very proud of it. They've been able to pay their bills, like I said. And our tuition is the lowest in the state. So you're paying your bills, you have lower tuition. We can teach them something, and I think they need to learn from us.
That's a novel approach to live within your means, give people value for their dollar, and to have high standards. There's a lot of government institutions that can learn from that.
Well, I agree with you. And, I've been to New Orleans a couple of times since the transition before I retired. And they needed somebody else to steer the ship. And I think they're searching for a new president. And hopefully they'll learn from the universities like LSU, Alexandria, that are doing it right. And there's others that do it right as well. But thank you for the call. We appreciate it. And we're very fortunate in this community to have LSU Alexandria.
Mm-hmm. All right.
I agree.
Thank you, caller. We appreciate it. Take a break. Back with more talk back after this.
Taking part in the show is easy. Call the BOM Bank Talkline at 442-8255.
We wouldn't be celebrating America 250 if it wasn't for a strong foundation set by the framers. Hamilton built America's financial foundation on sound money, later embodied by the gold standard. But we abandoned that discipline in 1971 and have seen inflation erode the dollar's value. What's the foundation of your savings? Is it gold or something that can be devalued? Hi, it's Dr. Ron Paul, and I encourage you to speak with my friends at Birch Gold Group about diversifying an existing IRA or 401k into a tax-sheltered IRA in gold. Learn more by requesting a free info kit on gold IRAs. Just text the word SECURE to the number 989898. Let Birch Gold help you build your foundation with gold. Text the word SECURE to the number 989898. Text SECURE to 989898.
Now back to Talkback, 970 AM, 104.9 FM, KSYO.
Welcome back to Talkback. Great conversation with Dr. Paul Coreil, former Chancellor of LSUA, now noted author over at avoyellestoday.com, and tells you the story about alligator. You were talking about that a little bit ago.
Yeah.
That used to be a trash meat. It's funny how there are different kinds of meat that at one time were trash meats that become delicacies, and then the price goes through the roof. One of those examples is fajitas. Fajitas used to be a trash piece of meat. The skirt steak was so thin, nobody wanted to do anything with it. And then all of a sudden it becomes popular, and now you go buy it and you're like, how much a pound? Are you kidding me? So,
well, look at cracklings. I mean,
great
it's
point.
Fat and skin.
Yeah.
And it's $18-20 a pound.
It's yes. And then chicken cracklings, kind of the imitation, it's $24 a pound at some places.
That was thrown away. That was
Absolutely.
Just the skin and, the fat on the chicken.
Well, I credit and blame the cages at the same time because they cook everything but the oink, I think.
Yeah, and it generally tastes pretty good, too.
That's right. No doubt about it, man. 318-442-8255, Dr. Paul Coreil with me. Call the BOM Talkline. Happy birthday to Sally Struthers today.
Oh.
She is 79 years old, which is hard to imagine because she was such a high point in All in the Family, and that young blonde, maybe played the blonde
image.
Yeah, a little bit of a dim, not really, but and she went to the bank.
But
with
a great actress to
absolutely Emmy Award winning. So she, but to see on my notes that she turned 79 today, I'm like, okay, I feel
it's kind of scary.
I feel old.
Exactly.
I mean, I'm glad she's still around to have a birthday. That's terrific. So
exactly.
There weren't many other birthdays on my list of people that I really recognized. I'd get my show prep and look to see, and none of them really jumped out except for Sally Struthers. And to think about the impact of that show, kind of how it lampooned racism and bigotry and misogyny and created conversations around those things. And I had a hard time ever seeing Archie Bunker play any other role because he was always Archie Bunker.
Yeah, I mean, in the heat of the night, he really changed his roles so much. And most people remember both of those roles fairly well. But I like both of those shows.
I did too. Carroll O'Connor, when he first started The Heat of the Night, I had a hard time not seeing Archie. But it only took a few episodes because he played it with intensity. And it was a total different character.
And his son was on that show too.
I'd heard that.
The Heat of the Night.
Yeah.
He was one of the deputies.
How fun must that have been?
I know it. But that was staged or centered in Mississippi, wasn't it?
It was. And it was kind of, I think, based on some of the early, you had the integrated cop that comes in, or the cop that comes in and integrates the police department. And
because they talked about going to New Orleans quite a bit.
They did.
Some of those shows.
That's right. That is Sparta, Mississippi, which is now more known for the CO2 leak because of the pipeline that went through there. But Sparta, Mississippi is where it was based. And that really there was a movie and a novel that kind of sparked all of that. So Carroll O'Connor, what a great...
wasn't Sidney Poitier in the movie?
I think he was in the movie, yeah.
Yeah, he was
and he also was in
Chief Deputy.
Guess Who's Coming to Dinner?
That's it.
He was a strong actor. Really enjoyed him. So, goodness gracious. Hey, we need to take our final break of the hour. We'll come back with the final segment. Love to have your phone calls, 318-442-8255. Ask Dr. Coreil what his pickleball handicap is. We'll find out when we come back.
Talkback, Central Louisiana's longest-running talk show, is now everywhere you are. Talkback is now streaming live on X at Sedla Update, plus Facebook and YouTube at KSYL.
Remember when eating corn right off the cob was one of your favorite summertime treats? Or how about taking a big bite out of a crisp, fresh apple? If it's been a while since you enjoyed these delightful activities, chances are your teeth are no longer up for the task. But now there's great news. The folks over at Today's Dental in Pineville are Cenla's dental implant experts. They're both highly trained and experienced in the procedure. Now with thousands of completely satisfied, delighted patients. They make dental implant surgery simple by using today's most current technologies. Along with in-office IV sedation administered by a highly skilled certified nurse anesthetist, you'll be in and out before you know it, without all the anxiety. Plus, at Today's Dental, their multiple finance options make the entire procedure truly affordable. Go back to crunching all your favorite foods. Give Today's Dental a call at 448-4540. It's a general dental facility on Highway 28 East in Pineville, owned by Dr. Jonas Goche. That's 448-4540.
970 AM, 104.9 FM, KSYO. To take part in the show, call 442-8255. That's 442-TALK.
So I went into the break saying that we would ask Dr. Paul Coreil, find out what his pickleball handicap is. I think I made that up. I don't think there's such a thing as like a golf handicap.
I'm an amateur beginner, but I'm learning. I'm learning from Arlene, my wife. She's really loves the game, plays a couple of times a week at least. And she's listening because she just texted me and said, "Hey, you talked about the pickleball channel." I said, "Yeah, because you watch it all the time." But yeah, she knows all the players on the channel because they're well known around the country, and she's kept up with it online. Now she's got a television channel to watch.
That's crazy. So there was a documentary, I think, on Netflix about the formation or the origin of pickleball. Started in the same year I was born, 1965, up in Washington, Oregon, somewhere up there. And three dads, their kids were bored. They wanted to do something to entertain them. They had a tennis court, but tennis was a little bit too complicated for the little kids, so they just modified it. And I don't think they had any idea that a nationwide passion would be started over what started as a backyard game between friends.
And I think there's a ribbon cutting coming up Monday, maybe, or Friday here in Alexandria for 6 new pickleball courts.
Do you know where? Is that the ones on Masonic Drive?
Yes, on the Masonic Drive.
That's great. I know Ward 9 with partnership in Pineville created some, and they're getting ready to do some more. Ward 10 is full all the time. We bought a little portable pickleball set when my last trip to Mexico in May. Went to Walmart, looked like, I think, $30 for a cheap net and a couple of paddles. We brought it down to that children's home. Those kids ate that game up. And I think partly is because you don't have to be a superstar athlete to enjoy the game.
No, and it doesn't cost a lot. That you buy a paddle, get some balls. You can buy a net very inexpensively, too. In fact, we have a net, a portable net. We can play in our cul-de-sac.
Okay.
Where we live.
Yeah.
In the Lake District. And I got some, pipeline paint and made some little lines of the boundaries of the court. And it's really fun. And we also have a court we got painted at my lake house.
Okay.
At Lake St. John.
Well, that's who that was. The APD had put out a bulletin asking who had painted the streets over in the Lake District. But you heard the confession here on time.
Well, there's a couple of us, so it's 2 guilty parties here. But eventually the rain washes it away.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, well, that's so much fun. And my wife has bought the stuff for us to play. I haven't played it yet with her, but I'm looking forward to. I think it can be a new, enjoyable pastime.
Well, I pulled it up. New Masonic Sports Court, Friday, July 31st, 10 a.m. It reimagines this whole sporting complex on Masonic Drive. And I know Mayor Roy is going to be excited to be able to cut that ribbon.
So many good things happening. Alexandria, his corridor idea, and I've already lost the name of it. I'm sorry, Rick, or somebody text me, but the Masonic corridor envisioning that he's brought about. I remember some of the things he did in this first term that were, I think, the entryways to the city and the lower third beautification. And
it's the Reignite initiative.
Reignite. Thank you. I was looking for that term, and I thought, he's got so many great ideas, and you love the forward thinking, you love the forward progress. Good stuff.
Yeah, it's going to be really nice. We need a little cooler weather. When the weather gets cool, we're going to play.
I have a pastor friend who they have painted pickleball courts in their gym And I asked him if he wanted, because they have a large group of people that come and play. And I asked him if he wanted to come on the radio show to talk about it. He said, no, we already have too many people coming because it's in air conditioning.
Exactly.
So well, I won't out you.
You know, where the swimming pool was at LSUA, you know, we have pickleball courts there now too, but also basketball can be played there. And it's air conditioned too. So thank God for that.
Nice. Well, that's really become the fun thing. And again, the fact that anybody can play at pretty much any skill level. There's a great openness too. It seems like when I've been around them, folks are very welcoming to new players and almost, you know, they want to teach them. And I don't know if there's a ton of tricks. It's just developing your skill set and getting better.
Just watch the pickleball channel and you'll learn everything you need to know. I
cannot believe there is a pickleball channel. I guess that makes sure. So oddly enough, pickleball has nothing to do with pickles. Some people say it was named after their dog, but others say it was a rowing term.
I know you don't get any points. They say you're pickled.
Yeah, if you lose 11 to nothing, you don't want to be pickled. And then there's terms like falafel and flapjack and all those fun terms they've figured out. So for the fastest growing sport in North America, man.
I know Drew Brees has been a big promoter as well, from New Orleans Saints quarterback, now retired, but he's promoted it a lot around the country.
So today is also National Chocolate Milk Day. When you were in school, did you have the option of white milk or chocolate milk?
I liked white milk more than chocolate milk.
Really?
Yes.
Did that make you an anomaly, or were you kind of there a lot of
most of the kids wanted chocolate?
Yeah, I liked the chocolate. I wanted the sweet.
Yeah, one of the things that was unique, my grandfather would milk a cow, and we had fresh milk.
Yeah.
And we would drink, milk from the cow, and he would milk that cow every morning. Growing up, we had 6 siblings, so it saved a little bit of money.
Of course. Well, and now if you can finally buy fresh milk, certain places around town sell it.
Yeah,
I think Beans and Cream over in Alexandria has it close to you. Raw milk is
available.
And then here at the Louisiana, at the Trotter Center, I think in that little farmer's market there, it's available. So a lot of people really passionate about having that access to it. So,
and the cream always floats to the top.
The good stuff, right? You've seen that through your whole life, haven't you?
Exactly.
Well, the music is playing. That means we've run out of time to talk about all the fun stuff we've had today. Dr. Paul Coreil, thank you for coming in today.
Well, I enjoyed it. Thank you, Nathan.
Yeah, I look forward to this happening again. Stephen and Al will be back tomorrow morning. It's going to be a great day for them to have you along for the ride. And, of course, we appreciate BOM sponsoring our talk line. Tomorrow morning, tune in from 7:15 to 9 o'clock for more on Talkback. Thank you, everybody. Have a great day.
You've been listening to Talkback. The opinions expressed were those of the hosts and callers, and not necessarily those of Cenlaw Broadcasting.
Now. We tend not to think about now. We dream about tomorrow, relive yesterday. But right now in front of us is victory over cancer. Right now, cancer research funded by the V Foundation is